Hello everyone. I hope you are doing well. Today's live stream is going to be about CSAW Web Challenges. We only got 6 viewers. Well, they are adding, but please share the link with some of your friends or like whatever. Leave a like if you are interested, if you enjoy the content. And yeah, so we probably could start. So as you know, CSAW happened like 2 weeks ago, and they took the server down and all the instances of the challenges down. So we only got the Docker files, and we only got the GitHub repository for like descriptions and everything. And all the challenges got a solver, so you could also check the solutions yourself if you are interested. Alright, so we are pretty much going to solve all of the challenges. There is only one challenge that we could not play, which is the bucket wars. This challenge was is like about S3 buckets, or like AWS buckets. And yeah, we don't have access to it anymore, so we cannot really solve the challenge for the moment. We can't also deploy it, but the solution was pretty simple. You just need, it was like a non-secure S3 bucket which you could access without any credentials, and then you need to take informations from it, like the files that are there, the file names and everything. And there is like an interesting thing in S3 buckets, which are versions, and like it keeps track of each version of like a file, or each update of the file, and you need to look for all the versions of the file. And then there is one interesting file where you will find some password, and then the password will be used in order to. They also got the backup here. Okay, I didn't see it. I'm not sure if it's, yeah, this is it. This is the password that you need to find by dumping the challenge files, and then you will use this password in order to. And this is like the part I didn't like in the challenge. You will need to use the password. Okay, I forgot where to find the link of the. There was some image. There was a link to an image, and I forgot about it. You just need to use the password with steg hide in order to dump the flag from the image. And you know, steganography is not web, and this is why I didn't like it. Other than that, the rest of the challenges were okay, and we are going to start to solve them from the easiest one to the, not the hardest, but yeah, in like an ascending difficulty. So the first one will be the playing on the backcourt challenge. You see from the description, they said that, let me also give you a little zoom. They said that this challenge is intended to test one's familiarity with JavaScript obfuscation and whatever, but I actually didn't solve it that way during the CTF, and maybe this was the author's fault. Maybe this was unintended, but I'm not sure. I don't know. You'll see in a second why I said that. This was too dumb. All right. So you see the original solution is using some JSFuck with I don't know. Like I didn't see any XSS. Then there is no XSS bot in the challenge. So this was dumb. I got the source code for all the challenges in this folder. They actually published this during the CTF, so I'm not cheating by reading the source code right now. And yeah, this is the source code for the first challenge, the playing on the backcourt. It's just a Python file, and you could just the way I like to review the source code for this type of CTF challenges is, first of all, I start by looking at the routes, like the name of the routes, because the name of the routes might might give you a hint on what to look at and what to not look at. And by scrolling down, you see the report. Maybe this was the bot, I don't know. There were clear logs, submit logs, get moves, get evil. Now this is interesting. Get evil is interesting. It's not a clear name. It's there is the evil word, and you know, evil in Python is a function that will execute any Python code you give as a string. So if you were to do evil 1 + 1, the result to this will be 2. And I can test it in front of you. So if you get a Python REPL and try to evil 1 + 1, this is the result you get. So it's pretty much like code execution. You got code execution through like code injection through a string. And yeah, he's actually using the post request method. Also, let me zoom a little bit. He's using the post request method. He's expecting the request body to be JSON. So we need to pass this in a JSON format, and from that JSON object, he's taking some key that is called expression or like whatever. So my past JSON object will be like this, for example. This will be passed to the server. He will take the expression and pass it to another function called deep evil, which he made, which is this one here. And deep evil will just pass your code to evil. So you pretty much got straightforward code execution here, code injection, whatever you want to call it. And you could use burp suit in order to play with this, but I'm not like a burp suit. I don't like using burp suit that much, especially in real life it's helpful, but in CTF challenges I don't really use it that much. So but it actually makes stuff easier. But I like to pass my stuff through curl command line. This is like for easy jobs, I just use curl. You know, it's pretty simple, it's straightforward. So I will pass the -i. This option will just return me the response headers. I use it most of the times just to get info from the response if something didn't work or whatever. And the link to the challenge, I have it already open in my browser. So this is the link. If I make a request to it, this is the body of the response returned, and these are the HTTP response here. So if I were to remove the I wouldn't actually get the response headers. So this is why I put it. And next, it's a post request. So you could use -x and say it's post, or you could directly do a D. The D is just for data. It's the data that is passed through the request body. So you know, let's put anything for the moment, and it will tell me that the method is not allowed for the route root endpoint. But if you access get evil, which is the route he's using here to take the expression from us, then it will say, well, it will take it, and it's telling us that there is an unsupported media type. This is when you're passing JSON in the body of your HTTP request. Most of the times you need to include this in the header. You need to include the content type header with the application JSON. This is to tell the server running the application that to expect JSON objects in the request. So you just add this with a -h in curl. This is to pass in headers. You just do content type and type in the application JSON thing. Now it's passed, and 400 bad request because this is not valid JSON. This is why we got the error. So if I pass in a valid JSON object right now, like expression, and any expression, then you will get the result 2 here. So our code was executed, and the +1 + 1 is returned as a 2. So now we just need to execute Python code to get RC and execute system commands. This is pretty simple. You just use the import class function. I'm not really sure what it is, and you pass in OS system, not system. Be open instead, and I'm going to tell you why I didn't use os.system in here. So if you are going to use, or I could just do this too. Import is just a class or like a function that takes in a module name, and it will import it and return it as a module. It's just like doing import to is, but this thing, this one here, returns you something, right? This doesn't return anything. So if we do this, we get a module back in as a response, as a value, and we could access its methods or like attributes or whatever in a simple way. So if I were to use the system, which is a method inside of the OS module, it will actually execute system commands, and be careful because this is not returned. This is not returned string. It's actually outputted to the screen, right? It's only returning 0, and this is so bad for our case. We cannot use system because it's only printing us in the result the stuff returned by the function. And as I said, this is actually some kind of an output. It's not returned, and you could confirm this by trying to save the return thing into some variable. So if I do x equals that, you see x holds the 0, and this is not saved in the x because it's just output to the screen, right? You cannot use the system there. Instead, I'm going to use another method called popen, which is process open, and let me remove the x. And yeah, it returns some kind of a wrapper, and it got some methods like, for example, read, and read will just read the response from, or like the standard output of the process, of the open process. أهلا وسهلا. Welcome everyone. And yeah, you got so many methods you could use, but I like the popen and the read combination here. And this is returned response. You see, it's already returned as a string, and you could also save it in a variable if you wanted to. And yeah, this is it. So this is why I'm going to use the popen instead. So popen ls, for example, and the read. Well, this actually didn't work. And okay, just a second because my terminal is hiding. Now there was a little problem here. The problem is because I'm using single quotes. Okay, and in bash I have already used the single quote here. So when I use this single quote, it actually ignored it. So it's not in my output. If I echo this out, you'll understand it in a clear way. So you see, this is what we got. There are no single quotes in here. There are no single quotes, and we need to find a way to make it. Can you move the camera to the top so we can see the whole comment? Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Maybe top is a better position. Let's try it out. Welcome to the stream, everyone. Okay, I hope this is clear right now, and yeah, this is the whole command as I was saying, and now it's at the top. Let's execute it several times. Okay, this is the command, and there was a problem because I had a single quote in here and a single quote in here, so yeah, it didn't just read it. If I try to echo this out, you see, this is what I tried to echo, and this is what I got in like my output. There are no single quotes in here, so I need to add the single quotes. And well, you could do this like that, which is a hardcore way, not a really cool way. So you could just do double quotes, single quote, double quotes. Let me do it in the echo so you understand it, because I'm used to it. So yeah, I just could read it in pretty much a normal way. So if, wait a second, remove this, okay, you see, by doing this thing, you actually get the single quote back. So even if this whole string is closed, you reopen it, you enter your single quote, and then yeah, it's back to where it is. So this is how you make it, you make your workaround. So if I just do that, where's the last comment? I think this. If I do that like many times, like this, and also in here, not here, before the single quote. Yeah, I actually got all of my single quotes right now, and I could just send this, and this should work. This should get me some response. I will remove the old one, and okay, remove the link by mistake. I think this. Okay, we have another problem because of the spaces. For the spaces, you also have another workaround. You could use, instead of the -d, which is data, you use data row, and this will interpret spaces. Okay, I am actually wrong. I think a $sign then, or if $sign didn't work, it's completely fine. I could not use it, or I could just make it URL encoded. Maybe this works. No, it didn't. Okay, let's not use the space for the moment. This is some problem with using the like curl command on a bash. It's just like how you manage characters and everything. But yeah, it's okay. This is what we got back, and this is the result. I could escape. -E for echo is for escaping, so it will escape the new lines, and I get the comment in this way, right? So these are all the files, and there is no flag in here. If you do ls, I could use. I think I could do that. Oh, I see why spaces didn't work, because we didn't put single quotes in there. I know. Yeah, now this is a more detailed one. This is a working one. I just have added single quotes around this. All right, I forgot that I didn't add them. And we could do that again, and we should have a clear output right now with hidden files and everything, if there are any. Yeah, there's no flag in here. We could try to list the root of the system. Maybe there is something interesting there. And this is the root of the system, and there is also no flag in here. And I struggled with this for a little bit during the CTF, but then I remembered that, okay, this is a guessy CTF, you just need to guess. And my next guess was to actually read, let me get the files again, or we could scroll up a little bit. Okay, these are the files. These are the files here. So I actually tried reading the leaderboard.txt files, and I was going to read these files in here. So maybe the flag was there. And okay, upon reading the leaderboard.txt file, you actually find something interesting, which is the funny flag in here. So it was as simple as that. There was nothing interesting, and yeah, I just didn't read the source code. As I said, okay, I know there were only 4 viewers or whatever when I started the stream, so let me repeat this. So how I made source review, and I said one thing I like doing when dealing with this type of challenges in a CTF, I will actually, or even in real life, that might be interesting, you never know, is by reading the name of the routes. So this is the route, and this is report, clear logs, clear logs, submit logs, get moves, and these are not interesting pretty much. Get evil is the interesting one, so I just focused on it, and it was just taking my input and passing it to evil, as simple as that. Nothing really special, no web application firewall, there were nothing. And yeah, it's just a game. You define your like keys to play it and everything, but it wasn't really, it was dumb. Okay, it was dumb because if you look at this, the description said that this challenge was intended to be solved using some XSS attack and using some obfuscation like JSFAQ. And you could read the real solution made by the author, and this is the solution. And we didn't even use any of this, and we solved the challenge. So it doesn't make any sense, right? I don't know. I don't know why he made all this. And yeah, this was the first challenge. I think the most solved one. And yeah, I talked about bucket wars. I said I'm not going to solve it because we cannot really solve it right now, because it was an S3 bucket challenge, and the bucket doesn't exist anymore. They took it down, and it was also a simple one. You just you just execute the it was like an unsecure S3 bucket. You could access it with no credentials, and you will dump the files in there, the file names, and then there was some concept in S3 buckets which holds up some kind of a backup about all the versions of the files and when they update and everything. And there were files. You just need to look for a certain version of a certain file that I forgot its name. You will find some kind of a password. The file was this, I think, D2. Yeah, you'll find some kind of a password, and then there is another file, I think, that got some link to an image. You download the image, you use the password with steg hide to dump the flag. And this was also very bad because you are not supposed to include steganography in web challenges. It's a little bit guessy, but yeah, it is what it is at the end. And this is it. You could read it. I already shared the link to the GitHub. Alright, so the next challenge, let me see what's okay. I think we keep the Charlie's Angels as the last challenge because I think it was the last one anyways. Lost Pyramid is some SSTI, and I think Log Me In is the next one. Log Me In is the next one. And sadly we have no description of this. But yeah, I also like to attempt web challenges in a blind way without reading the description. I actually like doing that. I remember when I went to the Wacom Files in South Korea, their Perfect Blue was playing and they got first place. And after the CTF, there was some hacker party, and I talked to Jazzy. If you don't know him, he's actually one of the best web players, and he also does binary exploitation and research in Web3. This is Jazzy. So make sure to follow him. And yeah, he was. I remember telling him that the description of the challenges was a little bit misleading, and he just responded by saying, "Yeah, I don't read descriptions anyway." So yeah, he just attempts challenges blindly. So yeah, that was funny, and I started doing it too because it's funny. So we now got the Log Me In challenge. Okay, I'm sorry. So let's open the Log Me In challenge. Open folder, live stream, Log Me In. Okay, this is the source code again for the Log Me In challenge. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so there are so many files. What I will start doing is I will actually take a look. If there is Nginx, I will take a look at Nginx, because Nginx might contain some kind of a misconfiguration, and the misconfigurations for Nginx are pretty well known. So you could just identify it in a very quick way, and it might help you later on the challenge. You might get an idea. You might get some local file inclusion or whatever, and this might help you in the future when reading the real source code. But there is nothing in here. It's just redirecting when you access the website, it will just redirect it to the web app host, which is this application. So Nginx works like works like a reverse proxy. Hello, it just works like a reverse proxy. So there's the reverse proxy, which is Nginx, for example, in our case. And you got your, you might get so many applications, right? So another application, whatever. And yeah, when the client makes a request, also all of them are just in one place, which is a server. When a client makes a request, it will actually be made to the reverse proxy. The reverse proxy will take the request depending on the rules that are defined in here. So these are the rules. It will make some behavior. For example, it will just redirect it to this app, or it will redirect it to this app when you visit some folder, right? So yeah, it just works like that. It's in a simple way. Of course, it's more complicated than just that. But yeah, this is it. There is nothing special with Nginx. Also, it's pretty known. As I said, for the vulnerabilities, I will just give you some resources. I like the Kybro web cheat sheet. I think it got some of them. So I will share these resources again in the stream. There is like the very well-known GitHub repo, which is payloads all the things. Everyone know it, I think. We also got the, that's not included, but also if you go for Nginx, I think Hacktricks was the name of the website, I don't quite remember it. You will also find some of the well-known vulnerabilities in here, so yeah, you could just take a look at these resources for Nginx and also some other web attacks. And yeah, let's get back to the challenge. Okay, so as we said, Nginx got nothing special, so we will start reading the source code in here. The static folder will just contain the HTML files, so we don't care about it. The templates is also the same thing, so whatever. We will start from the app.py. There is nothing special in here. I will move on. It will just initialize the app and the database, so nothing special. I will go for routes. Routes is the most interesting one. Why? Because it just defines the routes, which are the part of the application that you are interacting with. So if you are going to exploit something, it should actually start from here, right? So we got a login and register. We could ignore them for the moment because, like, I don't care. I don't think it's some SQL injection. I don't care. Also, we didn't visit the website. This is a mistake I made. Let me open it really quickly. I think it was on port. Okay, I don't remember the port. I need to take a look at it. We are playing logme, and I think I need to take a look again at this. I think this was it. This is the part, I think. Okay, didn't even save my IP, and I don't remember. Okay, this is it. This is the logme in app. Present. And yeah, this is the web app. You got some login failed. You get some register. You could just register. Let's not register for the moment. You got some user panel, and we are not logged in, so there is nothing in here. Yeah, there is nothing, so we don't care. So let's register. Also, in a CTF challenge, like most of the times when you see some kind of a registration and a login, and then there is some other functionalities, most of the times it's not an SQL injection in the register or login, so you shouldn't focus on them. So yeah, let's just make an account and move on. So I'll make this account created successfully. Let's try to log in. We have logged in, and if we visit the user panel, it tells us welcome ASDF, no special message at the time. Okay, so okay, I'm not gonna look at them for the moment. They might be helpful, but yeah, we'll not look at them. So if we look at the /user endpoint, which is this one we are in right now, which is the user panel, it's getting some cookie called info, and what else? So also when I see the render template thing, I just ignore this. In my mind, I don't see these lines. So I don't see these lines actually. I don't care. I don't see them. So yeah, it gets a cookie called info, and then it's decoding the cookie using some decode function that we need to take a look at. I don't know, maybe it's in the utils.py file. Then we got it's taking user info from the cookie. It's taking something called displays, and it's also it will return the flag if the user info UID is 0. Otherwise, it's telling us no special message at the time, which is the message that we got, which is this message in here. So we need to figure out a way to to get the flag back. So and I think it's straightforward. If okay, we already got control on the cookie, like we got complete control on the cookie. We can forge cookies ourselves, right? We just need to figure out how to make it decode correctly, and we just need to set the UID to 0, and then we will get the flag. It's as simple as that. So let's find the decode function. You could either right click, find in folder, and then paste it, and you will find it, or just visit the file. Most of the times it's in the utils. Like utils will define like custom functions used by the web application. This is the decode. This is the decode. It's taking some input, which is the cookie, and it will use some key, I think, that we don't know, we have no idea about. Okay, we can't see the environment of this one, and it's using a token. Okay, the token is actually the token is just the cookie decoded from hex. So it needs to be in hex format, and then he is XORing the cookie after decoding it with the G, which is just the encrypted key that we have no idea about. And this is pretty simple. This is pretty simple because yeah, it's just a simple XOR. There is nothing special about it. If you got A XOR some B, you get a C. And let's say this is the input, and this is the cookie, and this is the token, or like the enc key that we have no idea about, and this is the result. All right, this is what he has done in the encode. The encode and decode work in the same way because XOR is just the same in encoding and decoding. So if you want to get the encryption or the encryption key, you will just do C or B equals C XOR A. So you will just move the A in here and XOR with it. So A is our cookie. So, and C is just the result. So if we have a result, which we already got because we made an account and we logged in, so we already got a cookie set. So we got some result, and we also could control the initial cookie ourselves. So we have control over these two things, and this means that we can just leak the B variable in here. It's as simple as that. All right, so let me take a look at the cookies. I will just use Chrome DevTools for this. Again, I don't really like using burp-su that much in CTF challenges. And this is the cookie. It's hex encoded. So if we open some Python REPL and we try to decode it from hex, you could also use CyberChef, but whatever. So as you could see, it's just encoded with the XOR. So this is why we got garbage data in here. All right. يهديك طيح يا وائل. So ربي يهديك. Okay. So we need to know how the cookie was actually forced in the beginning, and once you make the login, once you log in, it's just converted to a dictionary. So this is the cookie content. This is the content of the cookie, all right? It's just some object, some JSON object, some dictionary in Python or whatever you would call it. And 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 then it's converted to some dictionary. It's لهجة تونسية. And then it's encoded. So if you apply this, if we make the same steps, if we execute these two lines locally on our side, we could just forge a cookie, right? So if I take this user object and I set, we don't care about the username, so let's say it's just this, or like our current username, whatever. The display name, I also don't care about it, so whatever. Then the UID needs to be set to 0. So this gotta be a 0 in here. So we could just define it, and then we could use dict user. Dict user will just, it's just the same thing literally, so we don't care. It's not a string, it's not, I don't know why he used the dict in here, because it's already a dictionary. So yeah, whatever. And then he's going to encode it, so he's going to XOR it with the key that we don't know. But if you remember that we used this username and this display name when registering. We already got this cookie. So we already got a cookie forged in this way. However, our UID is not 0, and this is the only different thing in the encoded cookie that we got in this result. But we know that this is the first part. So like we got part of the cookie leaked. You know, this is the encoded cookie. And if I take it until this, and it's not a 0, I don't know what the UID that was given to me. This is somewhat the decoded cookie. All right, so we got both of the encoded and decoded, and if we XOR these two together, we will get, the result will be the key, the end key, right? So I will just XOR them together. I think I have to convert this to a string in order to use it. Or okay, forgot about what I said. I will use JSON dot dumps because he's using it. So I'm just going to reproduce the same steps that he has already done. And we will do that. This is what we get. It's a string, all right? It's a string, whatever. And then I'm going to XOR them together. And I'm too lazy to make some kind of an XOR right now, like a loop, or to even copy his stuff. So I'm just gonna use the XOR function from the Pawn Tools library, because why not? And I will XOR this thing. I will need to encode it to convert it to a byte subject, and I will XOR it with this thing here. And this is the result that we got. Also, there is one thing I want to actually know. Plain text, put that. Okay, I think I remember. I think we have probably made a little mistake. Longer. Or wait a second, we could do something else, maybe not, because if we know the UID that was given to us, this will be so easy. So when registering, okay, your UID is 1. Okay, I was dumb. This is 1. So we got the complete decoded cookie. So yeah, this is 1. All right, let me user equals this. This is 1, right? So I'm sorry because yeah, I was done with this. Now we actually need to. Okay, wait a second. User. Oh, user is already a string, so I would have to remove this whole thing and just use user. And this is the whole key. Now we are sure that this is the whole key. This is the real key, and we can forge custom cookies using it. So if we take the key right now, and I will XOR this key, I will just now apply the encoding. I will just apply the encoding. I got the key. I leaked the key using like simple XOR because it's simple XOR, and I will just XOR it with a plain text, which is the cookie. So I will just XOR it with this object here, and I will just change the UID to a 0, and this is the result. I need to now encode it in hex, and yeah, this should work. The challenge should be solved, I think. Yeah, it was just as simple as that. Just a simple XOR, and yeah, you get it. If you got any questions, leave them in the chat. I will be glad to answer all of your questions. Also, since we got some viewers right now, you do Udemy. I don't do Udemy courses actually. Okay. Also, there is a cool research article that was published this week, and it was from Liraz, which is a researcher and a bug bounty hunter, and the research is talking about how she found the bug in like Google Slides, and it could steal files from your Google Drive using this bug. It's a really cool chain. She chained like triple redirects, I think. She made like a triple redirect. So yeah, it was a cool article, it was a cool research, and it shows like that when you focus on your target, when you focus on your target, you could actually find really cool bugs in it that are not found by everyone. So take a look at the article. And yeah, if you like the content, if you want to see more of this type of live streams, you could also help me on Bakshish, which is just like a donation platform made for North African live streamers to make their life easier. So yeah, if you want to support me, and like leave a tip. And yeah, this is the log me in challenge. If you got any questions, just put them in the chat. I got my phone next to me and I will answer all of the questions. Right. So the next challenge is the Lost Pyramids challenge. And okay, so yeah, let's not read the description because whatever. This is the solution. It's another simple challenge. Let me open it again. Not here. Lost Pyramid. Close this one. And this is what we got. So you see this folder in here is just for Mac OS, so we don't care about it because we are not using a Mac. The static folder, again, ignore it, ignore the templates. You only got an app.py, so it's a pretty yeah, it's a pretty simple code in here. So yeah, as usual, you see it's loading some keys in here, public key and a private key, so keep that in mind. And we got some entrance, endpoint, we got some hallway, scarab room. Okay, all of the endpoints are just weird names. So yeah, this feels like the coolest endpoint. You see, these characters are cool, so it might be cool. So King's safe list, and since he's using some safe list and stuff, then this might be the vulnerable code. All right. So it's getting the name parameter from your request, from the body of the request. It's a post request, and it's going to loop on it, and it's checking that you see it's looping on the King's safe list, and it's taking. Sorry, it's is this a double loop? No, it's looping on the name, which is your input, and it's checking that the character. First of all, the character needs to be alphanumeric, and the second thing, the character needs to be in this list. Otherwise, it will be removed. So this is the WAF they got. This is the web application firewall they have made, and you see these cool characters. These are the only two cool characters that you got, alongside with the alphabet and like all the stuff, because it's accepting alphanumeric, as you could see. So yeah. So you know the curly braces are used in some attack called SSTI, which is server side template injection. So you know we are using Flask, and Flask got when Flask will return some response, most of the times, depends on the code. You see the function that render template thing that I showed in the last challenge. So this function will take some template as it tells, and it will render it and return it as a response. All right. So what's the template? Basically, a template is a file, and this file contains some code like HTML code. It's just the page that will be shown alongside with other code that is written in the template language. For example, you could find this line in here, like username, for example. Now this code, you see the HTML code already, which is this, and you see here curly braces and username. All right. And yeah, what it will do in the Flask, or there is also something called Jinja 2, and we got some donation. Okay, I need to see the message. بس يسعى كلافيب. Okay, thank you for the donation. It really means a lot. I'm so thankful. Okay, so as I was saying, there is the Flask. Flask got its own like engine for. It's not an engine actually. We call it just the template, right? Or you could use something called Jinja 2, which is from a donation قبلها زيادة. Okay, I think I need to open my account then to read the donations. Okay, thank you so much, guys. They made an update for the website and they still don't render my image. Merci beaucoup. Okay. Okay, thank you so much سيف. Thank you so much انيس. سيس على الكلافية والله موهوش مني كلافية خردة. This is the keyboard I'm using. And yeah. Grand online. في الداشبورد دي. The server is so slow too, so I also will do bug bounty on their website. Grand online. Okay, whatever. So let's get back to the SSTI thingy. Okay, so so SSTI Flask, and we said there are two things. There is Jinja 2 and there is like its own template, syntax, whatever, or engine. I will use the word engine actually. It's alright. We can call that an engine. And yeah, a template engine is just like some kind of, I don't call it a compiler, but it's like some kind of an interpreter. As the example I gave, you find some HTML code and there is the HTML code, and then there is this thing in here, and this thing is just a variable in the language of Flask or Jinja 2. It's just a variable, so when you do this, it's going to search for the variable called username and it's going to replace it in here. So it's just like fetching a result or a value from a variable. And here appears the bug SSTI, which is the server-side template injection. Basically, you could inject some template code and you will get, you could just forge code with it. So for example, if there is this function, there is also template string in Flask, or you could use it, render template string. This will take a string and it will render it instead of taking a file like the render template function would do. And it will take a string like this, and let's say it's taking some input and adding it in the middle of this code. Okay, I don't know why I use semicolon there. So if it's taken input from you, then you could forge some template code in here and you could enter this username, or you could do better stuff, because at the end the engine is just interpreting Python code. So you could also do something like config. Config is a global variable which holds the configuration of the current Flask application, of the current running Flask application. You could also, from the config or from some global objects and variables, you could access their attributes, and by accessing their attributes you are getting to some more global attribute like the built-ins dictionary, and this dictionary holds all the built-in functions in Python, and one of the functions is of course import, which will let us import some module and execute code. You could also take a look at this from the, what is it called, the payloads all the things repo. This will make your life easy when exploiting this is include injection, template injection. So you could just scroll down, you could select Python Jinja 2, which is the engine used by Python. Yeah, and Yeah, it just gives you examples of basic injections. Like if you want to confirm that there is some kind of injection, then you need to execute this code in here, right? And as I said, it just takes Python code, so you could just multiply numbers or add numbers or whatever. So if I get back to the website, it's called Scarab Room. So let me go inside the Scarab Room. Okay, I need to find also I think 5,000. Not 5,000. Oh, 5,000 is the other one. I think lead then. Not lead. Okay, this is the. I need to see the port number. I'm sorry. I think this is it because yeah, 8050. So is the right port. So we enter and then you see the hallway and you got this dots here. And you just need to find the Scarab Room. I'm searching for it. I think this is the Scarab Room. So you enter the Scarab Room and it's waiting for some input. So if you give input, it will reflect the input here. Okay. So we could confirm the SSTI by doing that. 4 times 4. I think. نجم الدونيتي. Yes, نجم الدونيتي على البقشيش. And okay, so but it removed the dot, not the dot, what is it called, the star, because yeah, it's only accepting alphanumeric characters and the weird symbols. So you could, instead of that, enter the config variable. Okay, and you see what we got. We didn't get this time the config word. We got we got like some custom type called config, and it holds information about the current application running. Okay, and you could even confirm it. It's using the render template string, and it's using the name, your input, in this without any sanitization, and so you got some server side template injection. Should give 16 in case of is that it? Yes, it should give 16, but he is only accepting alphanumeric characters and only these strings in here, or these characters in here, so he removed the star. This is why I went into config. Also, when he removed the star, he didn't execute it. He only removed the curly braces. So when he removed the star, it's okay. When he removed the star, it became 44. So just the number 44. This is why we got 44 on the screen. And okay. So yeah. We now have to do two things. Okay, so if you want to get remote code execution, it's impossible, sadly, in this challenge. Maybe it's possible, I don't know. But it's impossible unless you find some 0-day or something, I guess. Why is it impossible? Because you cannot use the dot, you cannot use the pipe, and these characters are essential when achieving RCE, because as you could see, he's always using this. And when the dot is banned, let's say like only the dot is banned, you could use this thing. And this works like somewhat in the same way like the dot. It will just access methods of classes or attributes of classes or something. But we got both of them banned, so we cannot really use them, right? We can only pretty much access variables, and this is the only thing we could do. So, but remember, we got actually funny variables in here. Alright, we got the private key variable and we got the public key variable, and this means that we can read them, right? So if I just a second, I always lose this. If I do this, then guess what? We actually got the public key, as you could see. Alright, so yeah, this is at least we could get the private key and we could get the public key. And then what? We got another donation from the. Thank you so much for the donation. That means a lot. Zogvi. All right. What else? Yeah, I think you didn't leave any messages, right? Because I didn't see any of them. Anyways, yeah, thanks again. That actually means a lot. Okay, so, but how did we identify the SSTI again? It's actually, it was actually, I made a little guess, but you could just read the source code. You have the render template string, and he's taking the name, which is your input, and he's adding it, he's concatenating it with the template. So if you inject config in here, it will be added to this template, and it will be rendered later. So you got your server-side template injection with ease. Or you could just guess. It's not an XSS challenge, so maybe it's an SSTI. You could just guess if the source code was like more complicated or whatever. All right. What else do we got? Let me think again. Okay, so we got the SSTI. We have read the public and private key, but we don't know what to do with them. So we need to read more of the code right now. So we got the Osiris hole. There's no code in here and no code in here. Nothing in here too. And this is starting to get interesting here. You see the public key being used, and it's the end of the code. So yeah, this is our next interesting endpoint to focus on. How config passed the list? Is it whitelisted? Yes, it is whitelisted because he is taking alphanumeric characters or characters inside of the safe list. So both of them. And config is just alphabet. Alphabet is just alphanumeric. So yeah, it passed this check, and there is an OR, so we don't care about this check. I hope I answered the question. And okay, so let's focus on this endpoint. He's reading a cookie called pyramid and gwt.decode, and then he's using gwt. Okay, and for those who don't know gwt, it's basically Json Web Token, and it's used under the form of a cookie, or it's passed in some authorization header. It's just used for like authorization and for saving some lightweight information like usernames or I don't know, some stuff like that, right? That is used a lot. And it's used to, like, as I said, make authorizations to some endpoints or to some applications or whatever. And it's used also to make things fast because it will actually optimize the traffic. It's good for like bandwidth and also for database accesses and stuff. So it works well. It's some kind of an optimization for these things, and it's used for authorization and stuff like that. And yeah, authorization and authentication are not the same thing. So yeah, when I say authorization, I'm not talking about authentication. I'm not talking about making you log in or log out, or yeah, it's some authorization. So it will authorize, you are already authenticated, but you need authorization, and then it will use gwt to give you authorization to visit endpoints or to use certain functionalities or whatever. And yeah, also I have made a video about gwt tokens a long time ago. Sadly, it's in Tunisian, so it's not in English. And in this video, I have actually reverse engineered the Node.js, the Json Web Token module for Node.js, and I reverse engineered it in order to showcase why the vulnerabilities do exist. Like, there are famous misconfigurations or vulnerabilities in gwt, and I reverse engineered the source code to show why do they exist, like, and why do they work. But yeah, it's not in English, sadly, but whatever. All right, maybe there is some what do you call it? Like some commentary on the video generated automatically by YouTube. I'm not really sure. Whatever. So it's when decoding the JSON Web Token, it's using the public key. All right. Sorry, you could see this. It's using the and this is like this is how crypto works. All right. So yeah, he's using the public key when decoding it. Web King. And yeah, also look at this funny. Okay, public key GWT algorithms get default. Okay, look at this funny thing in here. gwt.algorithms.getDefaultAlgorithms, and this will return. I think I got GWT installed. I'm not sure. Okay, I need to install it. Okay, I will make a virtual environment for this quickly. So GWT. Because in the newer versions of Python, it will ensure that you activate. That you use virtual environment when doing package managing, when installing or uninstalling packages. And this is like, because when you are using Python modules, most of the times the certain modules will depend on other modules, and the versions of the modules will also matter in this case. And you might get another project that uses other or the same modules but in different versions, right? Or like some module depends on a different version from the first one. And this is why you use virtual environment for package managing, and it will make your life easier basically. So now I could just pip3 install pygwt. Sorry, I think it's called pygwt, right? Okay, he's not using pygwt. Yeah, it's called pygwt, but when you are importing the module, it's just gwt. So now I could import it, and I could use the I could use the. Okay, I'm really sorry. I don't care. Let me just copy this. I just want to show you the array returned by this function. So it's returning all of the algorithms supported by GWT, like the NaN, the SHA, or the SHA 256. All the family of this hash, and yeah, I think there is also RSA. I'm not sure. This didn't return RSA. Whatever, we don't care. But when you could also, what terminal is that? Is that a VM? Yeah, this is a Linux. I'm using Windows 11 as my main system, as you could see, and I got a Linux VM. I'm using Arch Linux on this VM. This terminal is called Terminator. A lot of people will hate me for using not the movie. Okay, open the movie. A lot of people will hate me on using Terminator because nowadays people moved to something similar called Tmux, and Tmux is also terminal multiplexer. It will just let you open multiple terminals inside of the same window and like manage them. And it's actually cool. I actually tried Tmux. I got it on my Ubuntu machine, and I use Terminator on my Arch Linux. I just got used to it. Also, for like this funny thing in here, I'm using something called PowerShell, not like power like that, I think. PowerShell. I actually forgot about it. Just a second. I will actually take a look at my bash RC. It's called Powerline. I'm sorry. Powerline GitHub. You could download it from here. It will just make your terminal look more beautiful. And for Terminator, this is the link. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer my question. Anytime. This is my job in here. Just answer questions and explain stuff. Yeah, oh, my ZSH is also a thing, but I don't use ZSH. I am using bash in here, so this is why I'm not using. Also, oh, my ZSH is kinda slow. I don't know. Maybe I have installed more stuff, but I don't know. I just find it slow. This is. I am also using it on my Ubuntu machine. Okay, so back to the challenge. So as I said, it's using the public key in order to decode the JSON token. So the next step that I'm going to show is, let's take a look at the Json Web Token. This is the Json Web Token. It's called Pyramid. It's in here. Info is actually from the past challenge, so I'm going to... Is it from the past? I think. Okay, let's keep it. I don't care. So this is a Json Web Token. I could pass it to... I could analyze it using my terminal, or I could also use something called gwt.io, which is a website that will show you parts of the Json Web Token. So let me explain the structure of the Json Web Token really quickly. So there is the... Okay, the only problem with the tool I'm using to draw on the screen is I cannot actually copy paste stuff. So, but I will give pseudocode, so yeah, try to understand me. So let's say you got some base 64, I don't know, some more base 64, and then some more, and some more base 64. So the first, and there are two dots in here. All right. The first part is called the header. The second part is called the message or the body. You could use both names for this. And the last part is the signature. And yeah, this part is making the Json Web Token secure. It's making the usage of it secure, right? Because there is a signature. So if you change part of the message, if an attacker wanted to change part of the message, the signature should change. Otherwise, the signature will be invalid and the Json Web Token will not be interpreted. And you got the header. The header will actually hold information about the token. For example, you could find this in the header part. You could find the type of the Json Web Token. It will be just GWT, and you will find alg, which is the algorithm used to encrypt or like make or like sign the Json Web Token. And you could find like HAs 256 or 512, like the family of the SHA hash, and you could also use RSA. All right. Yeah, so this is like a basic overview of how a Json Web Token works, and the message is just the information that a developer wants to put. For example, it might contain the username, and all of them are just JSON in a JSON object format. So yeah. Yeah, this is a basic overview of a Json Web Token. Now let's move to this part. As you could see, the decoded header. This is the decoded header. The type is GWT, and the algorithm is using some elliptic curve. Been watching effort to live streams, very good, so enlightful, live challenges explanation, much love. Thank you so much for the kind words. That means a lot. I'm actually glad that people enjoy my live streams. All right. So this is the header. It's just the type and the algorithm. This algorithm is called elliptic curve. It's just like it works in the same way like RSA for signing and everything. So you could use it for signing. It's like an asymmetric cryptography algorithm. And yeah, we don't care about it. This is the body, this part, and the payload or the body. One quick question: how do you switch between your VM and host machine real quick, or a different shortcut? Okay, when you are inside of the virtual machine, when you do Alt-Tab, you are actually moving between terminals or between windows in the virtual machine, so you cannot actually do anything. If I want to get back to my host machine, I will just type Control-Alt. So just Control-Alt to get out of the VM, and then Alt-Tab to get to whatever place I want, right? Control-Alt and then Alt-Tab. Yeah, I do that. I'm using VMware. I don't know if this works for VirtualBox or not. So, yeah, you got the role and the current date and the expiration date of the token. So when does the token expire? And then the signature. And yeah, I am not going to talk on how the signature is formed, right? But yeah, you got some signature there that validates the token, that the token wasn't tempered, and it holds the initial information that was sent. So yeah, this is basic GWT stuff. Okay, for VirtualBox, it's just right control. Okay, this makes it even faster. I think also Alt G for VirtualBox. I don't remember. I haven't used it for many years. All right. So what's next? So one of the main vulnerabilities in Json Web Token is called key confusion. So you make some kind of a confusion when. Okay, let me explain this with the black screen. This will be better. So there is something called key confusion in Json Web Token. Basically, if you got your type GWT and the algorithm is actually, let's say it's RSA, it's using RSA, right? So it will actually decode and encode the token using RSA, and it's going to use RSA math in order to decode or encode, right? And it's going to use the private key for encoding and the public key for decoding stuff, basically, right? This is used for encoding and this is used for decoding. Now, there is something funny. If you take the Json Web Token and you change the algorithm, so you change the algorithm to HS256, for example, it's just an example. So we are not using RSA anymore, but the code in the server that has been developed is using it, is using the public key when decoding, all right? We have only tampered with the algorithm. We only changed the algorithm. Now, when a call to gwt.decode is made, it will decode the token using the SHA algorithm, or like the SHA hashing, like verifying the signature using SHA, basically. And this is pretty funny, because when it finds the SHA algorithm, it will still use the public key as the password, as the key, all right? So if you leak the public key and you change the algorithm to SHA, you could actually forge tokens in your way, because if you encode the token using the SHA also, when it will be decoded using the SHA and using the private key. So you need to leak the public key and encode some token using the leaked public key, and then send it for the server to decode, and you will forge custom tokens. I think the algorithm is used to sign and verify. Yeah, sorry, I'm really sorry with this. It's used for signing and not decoding, because there is no decoding with hashing. If the algorithm, okay, there is, what happens if the algorithm is none? If the algorithm is none, okay, this bug doesn't work in modern modules and libraries of GWT, but if the algorithm is none, it expects a token under this format. So you only got the header and the payload, and you don't have any signature, because basically you got no algorithm for signing. So yeah, you will bypass the password or the key used for signing, and you could like forge GWT tokens with the non-algorithm without using any key and send it to the server, and it will also be decoded using no signature verification, and yeah, you will get the token. You will forge custom tokens without the need to leak any keys, basically. So this wins you a chain. But yeah, as I said, it doesn't work in modern libraries and modules. So yeah, it's an old bug. So we already got one thing done. We already got the public key. So we only need to change the type of the algorithm in the token and send it to the server, and we can change the attributes, like these things. We could change the JSON or the payload, and we could use any data we want in the payload, basically. All right. So let's do this. Also for doing that, I'm not going to, or I could do that actually. Okay, fuck it, I'm going to use Python. But there is a tool called GWT tool. It's on GitHub. It makes your life easier. It got so many of the stuff you're going to do by yourself already built in and functional. So yeah, you could use it. You could use it to win time, but I'm going to use Python for this. Let me share the link with you. Let's get back. All right. Let me clear this, and let me get to my window here. Where is GWT? Do I have it here? Okay, I lost the virtual environment. Okay, this is it. So let me do it by myself. So we got the public key using the SSTI. So I'm going to okay, yeah, this will be. So let me get the public key and save it into a file. I will call this. Oh, he already got some public key in here in the source code, and I'm going to overwrite it. So this. Okay, is it? Okay, because we leaked it, yeah. But I'm going to overwrite it anyways to showcase you. Or I could make a new file called pub.key. Pub.key. And make it there. Then I could read the. I will also name it public key, and I could just. What about the? This is just called HTML entities, which is a way to encode characters in HTML, special characters, and this just translates to a single quote. And we don't care about the single quote because yeah, the single quote is part of this B, and the single quote is just some Python representation of the bytes object. It's not part of the public key, so we will not use it. All right, we can use that. Oh, I'm going to read the file, so I'm gonna open the pub.key file I made, and I'm going to read it as bytes. And I got the public key in here, right? And also, don't forget about the new line. The new line is essential in the public keys files, so you need to have a new line there. Next, I could just go and take the gwt.encode line, and I could forge a payload I want, basically, and I'm going to forge it using the public key. Just like I discussed the attack, when you change the algorithm of the signing, it will always use the public key for decoding and for verifying the signature. And yeah, if we just encode a token using the public key, it will just decode it using the public key too. And yeah, we just won. We could forge tokens the way we want. So I'm going to use a HS256. The payload, I'm just going to take it from the website in here, and I'm going to make it in one line. And okay, let's read the code. Let's read the code again because there is parts I didn't read. So after decoding the token, it will actually verify that the current date is equal to the king's day. Okay, the king's day is current date. The king's day needs to just be leaked, so we need to just leak it like we leaked the public key using the SSTI, and the role needs to be equal to royalty. So I will take the role, and I will go and leak the current date. Wait, is it called current date in here? Yeah, it's called current date. It needs to be the king's day, so I'm just going to leak it the same way. And this is the king's day. So I'm just gonna take it. And let me extend the time by a little bit. Okay. Even though he's not actually verifying the time. Okay, we got some the specified key is oh yeah, there is actually, yeah, this is because I'm using a new version of what do you call it, of GWT, and this is why the error appeared here. They actually made constraints for this to not work. But this is not a problem. I could still forge it. I could still forge it using some old version, or I could forge it using the GWT tool. Okay, because the GWT tool is using an old version of PyGWT. So I already got this installed. It's in this folder, I think. So, and I also got a virtual environment. Source GWT tool, bin activate, and yeah, now I think I could run the GWT tool with ease. Forget about all that, we don't care. And yeah, I could, for this to work, you just pass in the token, and it will parse the token and extract parts of it. Now, what could you also do with this is, you could already see that I got the public key, because when solving the challenge I have saved the public key in there. And okay, the public key wasn't essential. The new line, sorry, wasn't essential, so I made also a mistake there. Let me get the public key again. I will just copy it, pub.key into the tools web GWT. Yeah, now it's copied this pub key, and there is a little problem. We got a new line, we need to remove it, otherwise the signing wouldn't happen correctly. And how did I know? I should have cut the public key. Maybe we got a private key in here. Let's see. So yeah, you see the private key file.pm. Okay, I know that my cam is actually, so let me do that. Yeah, this is the public key, as you could see. If I cat it, well, sorry, the private key, not the public key. I need to re-download it again. But yeah, when I've seen it, when I took a closer look to it, there was no new line in here. So yeah, having a new line there is not good. It will add another character to the public key, and it will make it invalid when verifying signatures. All right. So what? So we just would remove we just need to remove the new line, and we could use printf. Printf is a bash command or like tool, and it will print stuff without a new line. So we could use it and redirect the output to a pub.key file. Right, so pub.key now doesn't have any new lines, and we could use it. So I will use PyGWT, and okay, I need to take a look at the help because I forgot how to do that. So for signing, we could use this. And when do we actually give some public key file? Okay, we could pass in the key using the pk crypto, and I think it got the attack by itself. You could use this. Just a second. Oh wait, okay, it was done. Oh wait a second. Oh no, it was secure. I remember reverse engineering the Python GWT module, and the comparison is why didn't this work? Like why did he refuse to use the public key as SSTI algorithm? Basically, there was some comparison. I remember in the code it was just doing if SSH something in, or like starts with if key, I think that starts with SSH, then yeah, and the algorithm is not RSA or elliptic curve, then fail. Yeah, do not sign the token. So yeah, it's just like that. It's just this comparison from what I remember. This is why it didn't work. If I use an older version of the PyGWT, it will work. But whatever, we could use it in here because, as I said, GWT tool is using an old version. You could take a look at the requirements. Okay, it's not in the requirements. Probably it's something built in. Maybe they have something built in that is making all this work. So yeah, we could just use it to get stuff done. And we could use the exploits that are available, and we could use the key confusion here. You see the key confusion attack. We just pass in -x with a k, and we pass in pk for for the public key. So gwt tool, we pass in the exploit for a key confusion, and we pass in the public key here. So key.pub, not it's pub.key, sorry, pub.key, and we pass in the token. We pass in the real token, so we will pass it here. This is the result, alright? But it didn't tamper with, it didn't change anything. If we try to decode this token using that website, you see the algorithm changed, and we used the public key for like this, for generating or for signing the token. And yeah, but it didn't change anything in the payload. So I will take this token from the result, and I will recall the gwt tool using the -t, capital T option. This will tamper with the token. So now I could change stuff in it. So I will do 0 to continue, and I want to change the role, and I want to make the role equal to where's the source code? Yeah, make it royalty and okay, and the current date needs to be the date we leaked. So let me take a look back. Where is the date? This is the date. Hello. So I'll paste it. Everything works fine. Could just continue. This is the token. This should work and give us the flag, I hope. Right. So the room that we need to enter in order to make all this stuff happen is King's Layer. So I will visit King's Layer. Invalid access. What a good day. Okay, so we get invalid access when the token is invalid. So we actually have generated, so, oh, okay, because I was dumb, I forgot to sign it. I forgot to sign it again after tampering. Wait, he will do the signing, but yeah, I need to use the PK again when, hello, Sal, when doing the tampering. So I'm sorry, I need to redo the steps here. I'm sorry, you can take the role, take the timestamp, take the date, and signature unchanged, no signing method. Wait a second. I think this wouldn't work too. I need to use a signing method from the tool itself. I haven't used this in, yeah, didn't work. Okay, let me read the help again. Or I could just do this. This will also give me a help. Capital S, capital S, capital S. Okay, this is the capital S sign using some. Okay, I will sign it using this algorithm. Right, this is the algorithm he used. Yeah, 256. I will use it 256. Now I will tell it to sign it. 0 or yeah 0. Sorry for doing this 3 times, but sometimes, yeah, you forgot stuff and you need to suffer a little bit. 2, 0. We got the token, the new token, and this needs to work. Sorry, still not working. Okay, now I'm having a little trouble. The public key is correct. I remember it ends with a 2, but we made a mistake somewhere else. Okay, I think I see why this. Okay, I actually got a very better idea. I think like installing an old version of PyGWT was easier, but yes, I don't care. I will deal with this. So I got an idea. Let's take the same. Let's delete the token. Let it generate me a new token. Okay, you go for the enters, I think. Yeah, you get a new token. So this was signed with elliptic curve using the private key, and I will take it, and I will use gwt tool to tamper with it directly. So I'm just gonna tamper with it first, and then I'm going to sign it, or like make the key confusion attack. So we ignore that, and we change the role to something. Where is the royalty the current date, you change the current date to this, and we get a new token. Then we take the token and we will simply use the key confusion exploit from the GWT tool. So key confusion, and it needs the public key that we have leaked, and it needs the token, and this will give me a new token. Now if this didn't work, then yeah, I don't know. Oh, I think I fucked with this bot. Let me visit the king's layer and then change the cookie. So visit it. Okay, we already got the flex anyway. This worked. I was just making something dumb with when after signing and everything. It was dumb. I should have tampered and then signed the key, and not signed and then tampered with. Yeah, this is what happens when you are too lazy and you want to just use a tool, and you don't want to look for the version that doesn't contain that check for the SSH. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I do remember that check exists. If GWT GitHub, as simple as that. Yeah. So where is the? As you can see, GWT. Then there was. This is the module we were using in order to sign stuff. All right. And you could see he's using some regular expression in order to check for the PEM, which are the keys, the public and private keys, to check if they are valid keys or not. When we try to, let's look for the encode method. So is it defined in here? No, it's not defined in here. I want to use a zoom out. I hate reading code with a zoom in. It shouldn't be there. Algorithms, GWT, probably this API should or might contain the encode. Yeah, it contains, this is the encode function. This is the function we were calling, and it was checking encode payload. Where is the key used? Key. Oh wait, did the encode take some key? I took a key. Please get away from my face. Didn't want to be. Oh yeah, it's using the api.gws.encode. So we need to go to the GWS API in order to read it. There is another encode function in here that does the same thing. This will sign, I think, the token in. Dumps payload at detached, whatever, signing input. Where is the thing that we got? Yeah, first of all, it's also checking that the algorithm is not. Is this a check on the algorithm that is not none? I don't think the bug works anyways for this version. I just need to find where it's making the check for the key, that it's a valid public key or whatever. And this should be done after taking a look at the algorithm. It takes a look at the algorithm in here, so it extracts it. So the check for validating the key should be made after this. Get algorithm by name. Okay, it's getting it in here. Prepare key. So it might be here or here. It might be in either of these methods because I don't see it in here. So where are these two methods? Prepare key. It's self.get. Okay, get algorithm by name is returning. Oh, it's returning the algorithm from the. Wait a second. Yeah, I hate reverse engineering with big text font. Wait a second, so let's not lose the track. This function will return something from the algorithm, which get default algorithm is called. Get default algorithms is actually imported from the algorithms. Oh yeah. Algorithms, this one in here. Okay, this is just returning functions, and prepare key and sign. Oh, they are abstract methods, and they are overwritten in each. Okay, each algorithm got some class, and these are abstract methods that are overwritten, or like overloaded is a better word, when defining them inside of the real classes, not the abstract ones. So if we take a look at the elliptic curves 1 or the RSA 1, let me get down a little bit. It's either prepare or sign. Key.sign. Wait, there was a check. If yeah, you could see it. I do remember this. It's in here. My bad. OPK, RSA, OPK. But yeah, whatever, you got the idea. It's just comparing that the key bytes start with this. And if they don't start with this, it shouldn't work. Expecting PEM format. It also checks if the key is an instance. Okay, this is not force bytes. This is the check for the type. Alright. Yeah. It just does that. So it's just checking if it starts with SSH or not. This is why it didn't work. You could read it more in details. I couldn't read with ease using this font size. But it's pretty simple source code too, so if you download the source code, it will be simpler to reverse engineer. Yeah, so let's move on to the last challenge really quickly. Okay, so last challenge. So let me open the last challenge. It's called Charlie Angels, and it's a somewhat cool. It was written by Vi or V. I don't know how to spell its name. She works at Google, and she plays with. Okay, I forgot the team she plays with. I think she plays with the P4 team from Poland, and she's pretty good with web exploitation. She made this challenge for CSAW, and yeah, I think it's also the best challenge in CSAW from all of the previous ones. Alright, so let's get this done. I only got one terminal to work on this. Open Charlie. Okay, here it is. So we are inside of the folder of the challenge. Again, I don't care about the description. I'm not going to read the description. I'm just going to tell you how to make source code review and find the vulnerability. Alright, so you get a Docker Compose file, and from the Docker Compose, or even from the folders, you get to know the best or the hardest. It's actually an easy I rate it easy. I don't care. It's an easy one, and it's the least guessy, the most least guessy challenge, and it's also good in like form of a quality. It's a good challenge. Like the idea of the challenge is good. All right, this is what I mean. So you know from the folders here and from the Docker Compose file that there are two instances, there are two applications, sorry, and the two applications are talking together, and you have access to the node one because you could see the ports are defined in here, and it's also external, so you could access it, but you cannot access the PI. And as I said, the applications are talking together, so the node application should send requests to the PI application. And maybe we got the bug might be here, right? Because yeah, usually when there are chains this way, the bug should be in the other application that is in the back, and not the one that works as a reverse proxy. So let's start then by taking a look at the node app. Docker file doesn't contain anything special, and these files are not special too. Package lock and package JSON are not that special. Also, let me show you a trick. It's not used in this challenge, but it's I like to use this when I am provided with some Node.js challenge, and they gave the source code, and the source code contains this files. So what you would do in here, you would enter to the same directory with these two files, and you will run npm audit, or even package.json alone also works. And when you do npm audit, it will return all the identified vulnerabilities in the modules that the application is using. So yeah, it will identify any CVEs in the modules versions that are used. But none of these are actually helpful in this challenge. It's not an XSS challenge. We don't care about this. And we are not going to make a DOS at the end, so yeah, we don't care. We don't care about that. Alright, let's get back. So let's read the index.js file. Also, let's give a visit to the website. So the port of the website. I don't remember the port. I'm gonna visit 5000, and the port is okay. Don't have them. Let me take a look at the running instances. Okay, it's in this one. Lead port. So this is the Charlie's Angels website. You got two links in here: restore angel or UR. I don't know what UR is standing for. Restore angel will tell you error, Charles, down, send, detective agency, whatever. And UR angel will return an object that feels like your angel. You could see angel, name, actress, movie, whatever. And there is some kind of an information, and there is an ID here that should identify your current object or angel. So let's take a look at the source code, and basically let's not care about that. This is the root. This is angel. This is the endpoint we visited, angel. And the angel, when doing a GET request, angel will just, if you don't have a session, if you don't got the angel object in your session, it will create some random angel. So if I remove the session, this is the session basically, the connect SID. These are sessions in Node.js and in Express, let's say, Express and Node.js. So if you refresh it right now, so you see the info in here. The info in here should change. And as you can see, it changed because it's generating a random angel with each session, with each generated session. And yeah, the ID that we were seeing in here is actually the session ID. So it's actually the session ID, not like some kind of, like, not some randomly generated identifier like UUID or whatever. And then you get the angel. The data returned is just the ID of the session and the angel object that is returned from random angel in here. Next we got if we make a post request, on the other hand, there is some funny business that might happen. Let's not care about this. Okay, this is the restore. When we entered to restore, it gave an error. Okay, you could see the error in here, and the error was returned from the backend server, from this GET request. The needle is just a module that makes requests. So this module made a GET request to the restore URL. The restore URL is backup plus something plus our session ID. The backup is just the link of the backup Python server. All right. So yeah, this is what it's doing. And let's take a look at when making a post request to the angel. When making a post request to the angel, we actually control from the body. We could pass in the name, the actress, the movie, and the talents. So we could just pass in a custom angel object. Then there is the ID and the angel. Okay, and then there is the data object that is created and then it's making a multi-part boundary. This is like the multi-part is a type or a form of I would say encoding the body. All right, you could take a look at this multi-part encoding HTTP introduction to. I just want to show you when you see these things here, the dashes and then WebKit form boundary, and then there is some string here. This separates each content or like parameters you want to pass. And yeah, it's a way to send like files or upload files or like stuff like that most of the times. All right, and yeah, it's not really helpful for the moment. It might be helpful later on. So, and after just creating the data object from the session ID and from the Angel object, it will make a request to the backup server on the /backup endpoint. So there are no vulnerabilities in here. There is nothing special. It's just making requests to the backend. So the backend should be our interest or our target. So the /backup endpoint now is expecting a post request, and it's expecting files. So if request.files, it will loop on the files that are sent using the front-end server, and it will request files.getX. It will get the file, I think, yeah, as an object, and then it will check if the file name contains or if the file name is one of these things, then it will not pass the check, or if the file name contains 2 dots like used for path traversal, it will also be banned. And yeah, this is a security check that she made, and we got file name, backups, and yeah, after if we pass in this check, so if this is good, it gets the file name, and it will, if the word backup / is not in the file name, it will be added, and then the file is opened in some append mode, then it will just read the content of the file we uploaded, and it will append it to the file on the server side, like stored on the server. So otherwise, if no files were passed in, it will create its own file, .json file, from our session ID, because if you see in, wait, this wasn't sent. Okay, maybe it's expecting it to be sent with the request. The ID, oh yeah, it's in here. My bad, it's in here. It will take the ID, which is our session ID, and it will create a file with it, a JSON file, and save it in the backups folder. And it will take the Angel object and write it to it as its content. So it's just doing that, nothing special. So this is what the backup is doing. It's just taking files, storing them on the server side. If no files are passed, it will make its own file and save the Angel object to it. And you got the restore endpoint too, and the restore endpoint will get, okay, it will access the backups folder using your ID. So there is a session ID in here, okay, and if there is a file with the session ID and with the extension .py, then the file will be executed using subprocess. As you could see, it's executing the file. All right, and if the flag is in the result, it will return an error. It will not return the flag, which might and might not be a problem, because yeah, you know, we could just base64 encode it and bypass the check at the end. So this is how to bypass the check for the CSAW QTF string. You could just base64 encode it. Otherwise, yeah, if some exception happened, then it will do some other stuff. It will open the file for reading, and it will dump its content. So it's like if the Python file did not run correctly or contained some syntax errors or whatever, it will actually return its content. So yeah, but again, if you got flag or CSAW QTF, it will not be returned. So for this function, we know this function, with this function we might get RCE. We might get RCE using that, and to bypass this check, bypass it using base 64. Hello, yeah, you could just do that. Alright, so we need to find a way right now to save custom.py files. If we are able to save custom py files, then yeah, we just read them or like execute them using the restore, and yeah, we have RC and everything is working. So how do we actually make this work? Well, it's actually pretty easy for the moment, all right? Because yeah, the backup endpoint at the end is just expecting some file, and it will put the file, it will like take the file name from us and save the file as it is. So there are no checks on the file name, and there is nothing, and this means that we could create custom file names with custom extensions, and it doesn't matter. But the real problem and the real challenge is, how are we going to send files? Because yeah, it's only just making an object and we have nothing. So how are we going to send a file to the server? Right, this is the funny part. As you could see, we could only control some object, and the object will just be created and sent. There are no files. There are no files. It's not about also creating some other object. Wait, it doesn't want to write. It's not actually about making some object called file inside of that and like giving it some file name or like that. That wouldn't work. So what I have done during the CTF is what would any CTF player do. I have just started reading the documentation. So I just take in the needle Node.js documentation or Express and whatever. You could enter the npm, and this is the documentation for the needle module or package. So whatever, I then Control F and search for files. So how do we make file uploads? You could make a file upload using multi-part passing file path. Okay, so if we got some object, if we got these inside of an object, it will be passed in as a file, alright? And this is the file name, and this is the content of the file. And what it will do, as you could see from the comment, Needle will read the file and include it in the form data. It will just read the file from the system, basically. It's not going to do anything else. Like, you do not control the content. And this is a problem. This is another problem. Because if we are not controlling the content, we have no RCE. We need to control the content of the file, and we need to control its name too. So this is not that helpful. But yeah, we started achieving something. So let's go and search more. Okay, now it's getting more and more interesting. You could see in here that we can actually control the file name using the file name attribute. And there is buffer, and the buffer is just the data. As you could see, he read the file called package.zip, and he included the content in a buffer attribute. So yeah, this is so funny. We have achieved what we want. We could control the file name from here. We don't care about this. Sorry, we don't care. And we could control the content of the file, and you could verify this by reading the comments made in here. If you see when using buffers we need to pass file name, you can also pass file name when using the okay, they actually didn't talk about it, but yeah, it's called passing data buffer. So yeah, it's just passing data, it's just controlling data. It couldn't be anything else, right? So this is it. We could forge files right now. As you could see, it was as simple as that. The challenges weren't really hard. After all, it's just a qualification round, and this is it. So we could just forge files this way. So let me make this. Let me forge my file. Again, I will use curl for making the request, and I will get down a little bit. and let me take the link. Make a little zoom out. Let's start by making some. Right. We are talking with what endpoint? We are talking with the Angel endpoint in order to forge some custom file. The idea is basically, if from reading the documentation, in the data object that is sent to the server, if you got this, so this is the file name, it's called zip file. If you have this object inside of it, of like some parameter, it will be read as a file, it will be interpreted as a file. So yeah, if we, for example, take the name attribute and send an object like this, angel, or it's, you see, it's using rec.body. So anything after this is inside the body, basically. So I could just send in this angel 2. And I send in a name, and inside of the name I will make the buffer and send some custom content like importing OS and executing system or whatever. And I could also use the file name, and I will control the file name to ID, session ID. I need to name it session ID because when he's reading the file he's using the session ID, so I need to use it too. Session ID with file name session ID, and at the end I will just need the content type, which is not really needed, so I think I'm not going to send it. I don't think it's needed. We don't care. He's not even using it, so we don't care about it. Yeah, and once the request will be in here, like in here, it will just search for the files, and it will find the file that we sent inside of the name, that file. Yeah, this file. It will get it. It will get the file name. It will pass this check because we got now 2 points and it's not banned. Basically, we haven't used anything. We just used the session ID.py. And yeah, it will just read the content of the uploaded file and save it on the server. And this way we got a saved custom Python file on the server. Next, the second step is to visit the restore, and it will get the ID. The ID is passed using the front-end server here. It's just our session ID. This is why I said we are going to use our session ID as the file name, and it will just read the file and execute it. So this is a challenge. Let me try to make it right now. So we get the link. We are making it the post request to the Angel, and it's h content type application JSON because we are going to send a JSON object in the body. I need to wait a second. Okay, I forgot about the camera being there. So yeah, content type. Content type needs to be application JSON, as I said, because we are sending a JSON object. And then data. And inside of the data, we could pass in the object we want. You could use Python for this, or you could just use curl, or like you could even use verb suit. Basically, whatever thing that works for you, you could just do it. Alright, I'm missing something right now. Yeah, the documentation. Let's get back to the documentation and let's forge this one. So it's waiting for some Angel. Also, let me show you. Let me execute this. So just we get. So let me actually send a very normal object. So like a safe object name, a. What else is it expecting? It's expecting to have. Oh wait, we could ignore them. Yeah, we could ignore them. Yeah, and as you could see, okay, I ignored this ones here because yeah, when it will do angel.talents and talents is not there, talents, it will just be undefined. And yeah, it's just saved as undefined, and I don't really care. It's not used by the backend server. It's not even checking it, so. why making stuff complicated? Let's just send some name, right? And as you could see, the returned result is some session, is the file name, I think. Let's take a look at the backend. When the response, okay, the response is success actually, but in here, in the Node.js code, it's returning me, yeah, it's returning my session ID, the session ID that was used in order to save the file. All right. So I actually also need to use my session ID in order to keep the file in this session and not like create another session that I don't even have this whole name for it. So yeah, the session ID is basically this part here after the 3a and until the dot. This is the session ID. Alright, so we could just take it and we could use it, or yeah, that was done, sorry. We need to okay, let me copy the value. If you just send the cookie, because this is a cookie, connect.sid equals that, then you will get that session ID. You could see the YUDW. So yeah, YU and DW, and the session ID that I have sent was used when creating the file. So now if I go to the restore, it still gives an error. Okay, I'm not sure why. Maybe my session ID changed now. Okay, this is a little weird, and yeah, URangel will. Okay, you see in the URangel, sorry, you see this is what we have sent. So yeah, this is it. So now let's send the file. Let's send the file using what we have read from the documentation. So we got the buffer. The buffer is the file content, and I'm going to send import os semicolon os dot. Also, is it taking the output or is it taking? Let me see. Subprocess. Yeah, it's taking the output. So we could use system in here. We could use the system, and we could. Okay, and here I'm going to use the trick from the beginning of the live stream to pass in single quotes. So yeah, let me close this, send the single quote, and get back. And I want to. Where is the flag? This is. The flag is in here, is in the root of the system. So I'm going to cat the flag and base 64 encoded, alright, to bypass this check that checks that CSAW with CTF is present in the output. And I'm going to have another column, and this should work. Okay, there was a problem with my JSON object. This happens a lot when you are doing this with curl, basically. So let me see. The object seems fine to me actually. So I'm not sure why. Oh, we forgot double quotes. Sorry, we forgot double quotes to close in the buffer here to close it. So I used here error. Okay, we got some error. When do we get errors? When is an error sent? When it tries to save the file name contains this stuff, but it doesn't. The file name. Oh, I didn't choose a file name. I need to send file. So let me see. So file name. I will call this just like my session ID. So let me get my session ID. It's YU and ends in a DW. This is my file name .py, because this is what it's doing. It's taking the session ID and it's adding .py to it. So yeah, session ID.py. The content type is not needed, but I'm going to send it because maybe it's needed to make it a file. And I will just make it plain text or whatever. Right, whatever. Okay, we still get an error and I cannot identify why right now, so I'm just gonna echo this out to check that I haven't made any mistakes. So this Okay, I think the problem is not with my the problem is not with the sent JSON. The problem is with the buffer itself, with what we have sent. So I need to actually check this. Let me see in a second. .py .json error and error. When it tries to save it, it will, I don't know, this is weird. It shouldn't really happen. Let me try to make the buffer simple. Maybe the problem is with the buffer. No, it's not with the buffer. Okay, maybe the problem is with the file name. It's not with the file name. Okay, I need to actually be clever here and stop trying dumb stuff. Why are we getting some error? Okay, I could also like deploy the Docker and try it locally to find out what's happening, but I don't think it's worth it. I know I'm making something really dumb and really easy, and I just need to see it. Alright. So I sent the object correctly. This is the name, and this is it, and this is it. And I don't know. I think it's taking this session. It's sending this session when using the angel. It's not sending this. It's sending it here, but it's never accessed, right? ID is sent there. I don't know. Maybe it's here. No. Okay. Now this is really weird, and I might open. Let me try to remove my session. Errors are actually everywhere, so you need to. Okay, please help me. Okay, I need help right now. I don't know why it's. The error might even be in here, like where. Because he's not returning that. Wait a second. Oh, this is the error. Oh, there was an error when sending the fucking request. The error was with the request itself, and I don't know why it's telling me it's an error, because I see this as valid JSON, alright? If it wasn't valid JSON, then this should tell me that yeah, it's not valid JSON. Okay, I think I'm going to send the other. I think I'm going to send this actress movie talents. If I take a look at my angel, it should still be the same thing from the beginning. And yeah, this is all. Okay, it's some error. We got some error. Let me take a look at the. So is this the one running the? This is. Yeah, this is it. Okay. It didn't show me the error, sadly, but it was passed into the server when doing restore. Okay, I need to be a little bit clever and stop losing time on a stupid error, and I have lost my command. What a good day. Okay. File name. It's not in here. Why is it not working? Should I open burp suit? I don't know. Let me remove the content. Let's start removing stuff one by one and see. Still got an error. Okay, I remember the error appeared when we have sent the whole buffer. When we just sent the buffer, the error appeared. Okay, now we got errors everywhere. Okay, this is weird. And if I make it a string, is it even going to work? Yeah, it works. So okay, I am making something stupid. I need to find it out. Buffer. Maybe I have zip file. Okay, maybe I need to even Should I make another object inside of this, like file? Maybe the error is happening because of this. No. I don't remember even doing that. I actually forgot what I have done. I think it's better to... okay, I hate this when it happens. Because it's really... I know it's really dumb. But I couldn't find it. I'm sorry. I will try more, otherwise I'm going to open my past solution, because I should still have it. I also need to stop using curl, I think. Maybe. Yeah, it's not even about this. It's just about how I sent the stuff, the buffer, the file name, and the content type. Okay. Let me read a little bit more on the documentation. Multi-part with custom content type. No. This is all what it got. There is. You can also pass a file name using the file path method in case you want to override the file default file name to be received. On the other hand, if you see when using buffers, we need to pass the file name. I have done that. Buffer. I think buffer is not like a string. It's as something else. Maybe this is why it didn't work. So I need to. Oh, I remember I just found it in here. Okay, I'm struggling. Okay, just give me a second. I will find it out. Just a second. I have sent my solution to my teammate, I remember that, and okay, I need to find out what I was doing wrong in this. So, okay, where it is, I think this is it, and I was... Oh, wait, no, not that. Name, file name, buffer. This is exactly what I'm doing right now, so I think if we... Let me try to pass in the file name before the buffer, because it's pretty much the same thing. And I hate using curl. Okay, so file name before the buffer. Let's try this. Yeah, still not working. File name. File name. A.py. Still getting errors. 2 points. My. Okay, last time checking with the object. Otherwise, I'm gonna grab the. Just grab the my past exploit. Because this feels right. This feels correct. I don't see no reason for it for it to not work. Application. Okay. The only thing I could say is maybe there is a problem with the shared source code. I have no idea. I don't know. So maybe I might want to restart it, or I might debug it, but other than that, I don't know, because it's just the same exploit. I'm more than sure. It's like the same one. Okay. Oh, I hate this. It's not working. It's the same one. Content type, yeah. Text. Maybe I was sending this. Wait, this is not the curve. Maybe the content type is wrong and this is why it made an error. Maybe. If it is this, I will hate myself. Okay, yeah, it's not this. Text plain. Yeah, it's not this. I think there is some error in the backend. So I might want to debug this, or I'm just gonna ignore. But okay, maybe we debug it. Maybe we want to to see what's the actual error. Okay, the error is also logged in the console, so it's also weird that I'm not getting an update of the error in here. It's weird. So that means that maybe the error is used in here. Maybe when he is writing, he didn't get the needed permissions. But that's not correct because okay, let's try to add backups in the file name. Even though he should add it by himself, but I don't know. Backups / still get an error. Okay, this is the weirdest thing I've done so far. Why are we getting an error? I have no idea. The JSON object is correct and pretty much everything is correct. Should I restart? Let me kill some of the instances. Should I restart it then? Let's try to restart it. Maybe it works. Let me take a look at their write-up too. I haven't actually looked at it. Is this the Charlie Angels? So installation, automated solution. Yeah, this is what we are doing already. Whatever, the content type doesn't even, just like I said, but we are having a little problem. I don't know why. We'll wait for it to deploy. Okay, let me try it again. Still getting errors. What a good day. Okay, you know, I'm gonna do one thing. I'm gonna try to use Python to send it. If it didn't work using Python, then I don't know. Either I cut the stream or I try to solve it myself, like repair it myself. So close. I'm just gonna use the request method to get some session. I will visit the website. Let me visit the website first. Where is a link to the website, please? So yeah, I just get a link. Let me save this in a global variable URL and without the angel. And I will make a GET request at first to the URL, and then I'm going to make a POST request and send in JSON data, and the JSON body would be, it's too late. Yeah, the angel will contain another dictionary, which is angel hello angel name, and the name should contain the file name, which is whatever the py for the moment, the buffer, which is whatever, I don't care too, and the last thing is the content type, which we also don't care about. I'm gonna use text plain or plain text or whatever. I don't even remember what's the correct value for this. Solver is my solver, right? Yeah, it's called solver. Okay, I forgot to get the response, so let me save this in some response and let me print this out to the screen. We still get errors, so let me take a look at their solution. Maybe I am dumb. Okay, this is another challenge, but for the Charlie Angels. Oh, here we go. This is okay. We got the error. We retry. Error unless the temp error. No such file directory. Okay. I think it got maybe problem with saving saving the sessions. Maybe. And I mean maybe because I don't know. This feels not correct. But let's take a look at their solver. Their solver is. It's using another file, content, file name. You know, I will. Okay, I will just execute this solution. Okay, it worked. Okay, and it's using the file name. It's using the file name. Did it forge? Okay, I don't know. This is not what I have done in the CTF, but this is. Let's read the GitHub back. Okay, it told us that you could do a read file, yeah, from the documentation, local file inclusion, your angel.yaml, but it is saved as the value of file name, so angel. Okay, so this is why it used file name. Oh, I see what it has done. Okay, that's funny. Okay, but also writing files should also work, but it's not working. I don't know why. Weird. So let me just make something. Let me actually Charlie Angel Spy. I'm not sure which instances would even contain my whatever. Okay. You see, there are sessions, and one of the sessions there should be my session, which is YU and DW. YU DW, or it's okay, yeah. It's not removed. It's in here. So the session is saved correctly. And then there is another folder called the backups, and this is on the Python side. So I need to connect on the Python instance, and it saved the file of V, like the author of the challenge, from her exploit. It was actually saved correctly, but from mine it didn't actually work, and I don't know why. So it didn't save me stuff. This weird file name, buffer, content type. Why is it not working? We have no idea. I don't know. Still got errors. Still getting errors. Nothing is saved in here. If I were to remove file name and buffer, what would happen? Error. We get something now. If I send in a normal name, we lost so much time on this. This is okay. If it's not even working with this. I was making a really stupid thing. I wasn't even passing the endpoint. That means I'm so tired. But yeah, even with sending the endpoint, it still doesn't work, and it's still not creating my file. Sending a normal file name works, and it's not saved in the backups either. That means that it didn't save it. That's the only thing. It's saving it in the backups, but it's not in here. There is nothing in here, so it's not saved. I don't know why. I don't know what to do. I feel dumb, and this shouldn't work this way. Just shouldn't work this way. I don't know. Let me take a look at her exploit in a second. Her exploit is just going to forge a string, just like we have seen it in. Wait a second. Yeah, inside of this file. This file is saved on the server. And you could see the print thing saved in here, and then it's using some comment, you know. You could put strings in here in a multi-line way. So it just commented all of this and used hashtag for this, and it didn't care about the last one. This is what it has done. At least you solved it in the CTF. That's what it matters. But yeah, we need to also solve it on the live stream. I don't really know what's my. I didn't solve it in this way. I solved it by forging a custom file using the buffer. I've seen her using the buffer. Okay, it's not using the buffer. I was wrong. But yeah, the buffer thing is what I have used in the CTF in order to. They even included that in the solution. We have seen it. They even included it in here. But this didn't even work for me, so I got no idea why not work. Still get in here. I just got no idea. I have solved it this way, not by forging a custom session, you know. I didn't do that. I expected author write-up is totally wrong. Everything is expected from CSAW authors and I don't know. I really don't know why it's not working. But yeah, CSAW is dead already, so there is nothing special with this. You know, it should just get the file and read it and put it inside of the backups folder, but it hasn't done that. It didn't do it. Also, the Node.js instance should just do the same thing. Okay, here we go. Here we fucking go. Here we go. Okay, I hate CSAW. You see, this is the source code I got. This is the fucking source code I got. There was no fucking checks. This loop doesn't exist in my source code, alright? And they updated the source code after the CTF, or I don't know when, so this is too dumb, okay? And this is why we got the 500 error. This is why we fucking got the 500 error. Because, first of all, it's looping on the Angel's object, and it's checking if the key is not talent, and the type of the variable is not string, then there is an error. This thing will not let us send any objects inside of the angel. Okay. However, it's only checking it for the other variables. But if the key is not talents, then it will make this check. Otherwise, if it's talents, it will not make it. That means that what I have to do for my exploit to work, and like, I hate CSAW again. os.system. We cat the flag and we base 64 it. This all what I have to do is to not save this on the name, but save it on the talents. This is all. This should work. It works, as you could see. This is the new session. Now, if I give a visit to the s.get url /restore text printed. Okay. Now there is the error on the restore is because I didn't use the session ID. So if now I just get my session ID, let me I forgot how to get it, just a second. So first of all, I will take a look at the cookies. So cookies, then from the cookies I will get the connect. How do you read it? Is it this way? Connect SID. Yeah, this is how, and you need to extract the session ID, so you will also skip the first 4 bytes. So I will skip the first 4 bytes and I will split by a point and take the first element of the returned array. So split by a point. Oh, I'm so mad at this. Take the first element. This should return me the session. This is my fucking session. Now I could just use it in here. Okay, I need to save it. This is my session. And this is the fucking flag, and I'm not going to make any other live streams on the CSAW CTF. This is the fucking flag. Yeah, this was the dummy error there. Yeah, that's it about the CSAW. Just a dummy source code update after the CTF. Took us, I don't know, 30 minutes to figure out. That was too dumb. But yeah, CSAW is dead, and this is it. I hope you have enjoyed the. I hope you have enjoyed the live stream. If you got any questions for the moment, you can type them in the chat so we can answer them before leaving. Yeah, thanks for everyone again. Thanks for sticking to the end of the stream. Thanks to the moderators. And thank you again for all the donations. That actually means so much. If you got if you got any questions, you can find my social media links in the about sections of my channel, so you could contact me and I will be glad to help you with your stuff. Yeah, really appreciate the live, and good night. Good night, Ryan. Thanks for watching for like 1-2 hours, or I don't know. Yeah, thanks for sticking with us. So yeah, I think this is it. If you enjoy this content, you could also help me by leaving me a donation on bakshish.com. This is it. Thanks everyone again. I think I'm going to cut the stream. Good night everyone, and see you on the next one. I think the next one will be some like a guide on how to start hacking, I would say, or like how to get into hacking, or like something like that, basically, because I got so many questions about that, and I'm going to make a live stream about it and answer your questions.